champion, a few questions. Please, can you tell me about wrestling in your days?
Wrestling in my days used to be completely different to what you have now. Wrestling now, you have companies like NXT, NXT UK, AEW, Ring of Honor, and things like that. We never had things like that in my day. In my day, it used to be called the World Wrestling Federation, known as the WWF. We used to have ECW, which stood for Extreme Championship Wrestling. The name World Wrestling Federation changed because WWE got sued. That means where somebody tries to sue you for doing something wrong or using their name to, make something of it. So they changed the name to the World Wrestling Entertainment. And then it was none of this PG malarkey in my day. We had the Attitude Era, what means where people used to come out and say words like suck it, put fingers up, and it was more of an adults type of wrestling. PG stands for parental guidance, which means it's for children and their parents. We also had loads of different wrestlers. Steroids was a big thing in my day as well. We had companies like WCW and things like that. We had Sting, we had G-Generation X, we had Junkyard Dog, we had Billy Gunn, we had David Taylor, who I believe you've been taught by. We had loads of different things. Storylines in my day was a lot more complex. We used to have Edge and a lady called Lita who did a sex routine in a big bed. Vince Kennedy McMahon used to come to the ring, take down his trousers and get wrestlers to kiss his ass. It was completely different. It was known as Kiss My Ass Club, which plenty of wrestlers fell into, like William Regal, who's famously from Blackpool. We also had other wrestlers like Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who fell into the Kiss My Ass Club. We had The Rock, who was in the Kiss My Ass Club, which used to bring a wrestler down called Rikishi, and Vince McMahon actually got his head shoved in Rikishi's ass. It was quite funny, and more entertainment than what you're seeing today, which is PG.
You mentioned DX. Who are DX?
Well, DX stands for G-Generation X. And who used to be in G-Generation X? Well, it was quite complex. There was quite a few different people. Chyna, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, and people like that used to be in D-Generation X. I think we should listen to the D-Generation X tune.
You ready? Hey, think you could tell us what to do? You think you could tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break it down! Degenerate into something fool. We just got tired of doing what you told us to do. That's a break, boy. Yeah, that's a break, little man. Break it down. Degeneration. Degeneration. You think you can tell me what to do? Know who you're talking to? Well, you better big man. I'll treat you like you're a little man. Don't tell me what it's like to be half a man. It must break your heart to see what I am, but that's a breaks, boy. Yeah, that's a breaks, little man. Break it down. Dangerous enough. Dangerous enough. You think you can tell me what to do?
You mentioned Junkyard Dog, who is there?
Junkyard Dog used to be a wrestler. It was a black wrestler who used to wrestle in white and have Junkyard Dog written on his backside. He used to come to the ring with a chain, and he's quite old now. A lot of people think he's dead, but he's actually very much alive.
You mentioned a lot of companies like ECW, WCW. Who are they? What do they stand for?
When you say what do they stand for, do you mean what do the slogans stand for what they are? I think that's the kind of question you mean, Lily Bang Bang. I'll tell you exactly what the initials stand for. WCW stands for World Championship Wrestling. ECW stands for Extreme Championship Wrestling. WWF standard for World Wrestling Federation, which got sued because of the World Wildlife Organization, which is also known as the WWF. If that's what you mean. I think it is.
What the hell's Hell in the Cell?
Hell in the Cell is a WWE professional wrestling event promoted by WWE. It's a big cage and you're wrestling it.
Any good matches you've seen?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. There was one that was quite brutal, and it was with The Undertaker, which used to be a man dressed all in black with his gloves that used to be purple, and you know, like you have a funeral and you have a funeral director. That's what an undertaker is. That's what he was acting. We used to have a man dressed in ripped clothing, which used to be a shirt, and it used to be white. He used to be called Mankind. He also went by lots of different names, like Mick Foley, Bill Love, Cactus Jack, things like that. And they had a Hell in the Cell match, and it was quite brutal. Mick Foley ended up getting chucked off the top of the cage, which was about 16 foot high in the air, onto the floor, which used to have tables, which people used to commentate the matches, and he got thrown onto one of them. Then he climbed up the ring again, did it again, and this time went through the steel at the top of the roof, down into the ring. It was quite a brutal match. And a lot of weapons get used in Hell in the Cell matches as well, which causes wrestlers to bleed.
You said weapons. What are weapons? What weapons do they use?
They're weapons in professional wrestling. You have to be really trained to take weapon shots. Not every wrestler can get hit by a weapon. What I mean by weapons is steel chairs, kendo sticks, tables, ladders, chairs, steel ring mobilia like steps. Any foreign object can be used as a weapon.
You mentioned some of the wrestlers. Will you tell me about these other wrestlers, please?
Oh, in my day, there was lots of different wrestlers. Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Chavo Guerrero, Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Lita, Edge, The Rock, Rikishi, Chris Jericho, Junkyard Dog, David Taylor, Ricky Rude, loads of different wrestlers. If you want to find out more about the wrestlers, Google them and check them out for yourself. And of course, if you want to see some of their matches and see them wrestle, there's also YouTube.
Which companies have you seen?
Ooh, darling, I've seen loads. World of Wrestling, World of Sports, ECW, WCW, TNT, Impact, UKW, which you're in, Rise Underground Wrestling, TNA, TNT, lots of different wrestling.
If you could bring any back, who would it be?
Ooh, if we're going to bring them back. Oh, God. Oh, my memory. There's so many. That was fantastic. Well, I'll tell you one thing, darling. I wouldn't have WWE as it is now. I'd scrap this PG shite. It's killing wrestling. I'd get rid of this NXT as well. I can't stand that. Probably Extreme Championship Wrestling, World Championship Wrestling. Probably I'd whack a ton of money into Impact. But, darling, the best promotion that's out there at the moment, darling, is AEW, All Elite Wrestling. Phenomenal. I urge anybody to whack on their TV, roll up a nice juicy one, have a nice beer, get yourself a curry from Spice Masters, and watch it. You'll find it so clever. And you'll find it amazing wrestling. Their fitness and their energy go woo when I see them.
What company would you bring back and why?
Ooh, I think I've already answered that one, but if I could only pick one, is that what you're meaning? One, it would be ECW. And the reason why I would bring them back was the crazy atmosphere that they used to drive. They used to do matches called no rope barbed wire matches, which, you know, with farm animals, when they have that big steel wire that goes all the way around to pen them in. Well, imagine that in a ring covered in that. They used to do table matches which used to set the table completely on fire, death matches which used to be any old kind of weapon, and fight with it. It was amazing. It had loads of skill and loads of things. It was none of this blading crap, which means they used to get a razor blade and slightly pinch their skin on their head to cause the blood to bleed. I can't really go into detail on how they used to do it, but like they were saying in wrestling, don't try this at home.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, darling.
For the answers. I hope you speedy recovery to the ring.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you all.
Bye.
If you're not down with it, I got 2 words for you. This. Bam bang.